Have you ever felt unappreciated or overlooked by your own family, especially as you grow older? Have you found yourself questioning if the sacrifices you've made for your children and loved ones have been truly valued? You're not alone. In today's video, we're diving into a real-life story of an elderly woman who, after dedicating her life to her family, found herself facing unexpected challenges with her children and in-laws. This story isn't just about aging, it's about relationships, expectations, and finding peace in the most difficult of times. By watching until the end, you'll gain insights on how to navigate these emotional challenges and make the best choices for your future. Whether you're caring for aging parents or reflecting on your future, this video will provide you with valuable lessons you won't want to miss. Stay with us as we explore how to approach these delicate situations with wisdom, understanding, and care. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. When you grow older, you must be very careful about the choices you make. Don't allow yourself to make the same mistakes that I did. If you ignore my advice, you'll regret it deeply, and by the time you realize your mistake, it will be too late. I am the one who chose this particular way of aging, and now, my life feels like I am simply going through the motions, living but not truly living. If I hadn't experienced it myself, I never would have believed that such a way of life could be so hollow. I'm certain that if anyone else, like me, chooses this path of aging, 90% of them will end up regretting it, too. But by then, it will be too late for anything to be done, not even finding a place where you can cry for all the lost opportunities. So, what exactly did I choose for my aging process that has made my life feel so miserable? What happened in the end? I believe that after hearing my story, you will gain an entirely new perspective on the importance of making the right decisions as you grow older. You will understand what kind of aging path you should choose for yourself in the future. This story is not just a theoretical one, it's a true account of my cousin, who is now 68 years old. Before retiring, she worked diligently in the tax department and now receives a pension of about 9 million VND per month. She and her late husband had 2 children, but life has been far from easy. When she was 35, tragedy struck her family. Her husband, a healthy and vibrant man, suddenly fell ill with a serious disease. Despite trying every possible treatment and seeking help from numerous specialists, they couldn't save him. He passed away, leaving my cousin to raise their 2 children on her own. This loss was devastating, but she carried on and did her best to provide for her family. Today, both of her children are grown and have their own families, but she's now at an age where things have become more difficult. After retirement, with her energy fading and her limbs no longer as nimble, my cousin felt a sense of isolation. She realized that living alone at home was no longer practical. She started to worry about the future. What would happen if she fell ill or had an accident? Would her children, who lived far away, be able to care for her in time? These worries led her to start thinking about living with one of her children. She decided to call both of her children together to discuss her plans for aging, hoping to find a solution that would bring her peace of mind. Her son suggested that she move to a nursing home. He explained that there, she would find plenty of people her age, and the staff would provide comprehensive care, including meals and daily assistance. There would be doctors on site to address any health concerns, and the environment would be comfortable and well-equipped. It sounded like a sensible suggestion, but her daughter immediately disagreed. She was adamant that they should never send their mother to a nursing home, expressing that it would be uncomfortable and socially unacceptable. People will gossip and say that as children, we've abandoned our mother, she said. The daughter, instead, proposed a different solution. They could hire a caretaker to look after my cousin at home. That way, she would have the freedom to eat what she wanted, and the children could visit her whenever they pleased. But my cousin was strongly opposed to this idea as well. She was reluctant to go to a nursing home, but she also didn't like the idea of hiring a stranger to care for her. She had heard too many horror stories of elderly people being mistreated by caregivers, and she feared the same thing could happen to her. The thought of being vulnerable to abuse was terrifying. After much back-and-forth discussion, the daughter suggested a compromise. Let's take turns caring for you. You can stay with me for 1 year, and then you can stay with your brother for the next year. My cousin, feeling this arrangement might allow her to experience family life without feeling like a burden, agreed. She could live with her grandchildren, enjoy their company, and have the comfort of knowing her children were nearby. To show her appreciation, she offered to contribute her pension of 9 million VND per month to help with the household expenses. Her son, who was typically intimidated by his wife, found himself feeling strangely uneasy about a decision and decided to call her to seek her opinion. Much to his surprise, his wife responded immediately and without any hesitation, agreeing to the idea without saying another word. My cousin, watching all of this unfold, couldn't help but feel a deep sense of confusion. She thought to herself, how strange. Why has my daughter-in-law become so agreeable all of a sudden? Could it be that she's finally seeing things my way, or is there another reason behind her sudden change in demeanor? Perhaps she has some ulterior motive. Could it be that she wants to get her hands on my pension? Despite these lingering doubts, my cousin decided to move in with her son. She told herself, although my daughter-in-law has a reputation for being a bit difficult, I've already given them my entire pension. This means they won't be a burden to me. They'll be financially secure and will take care of all the necessary expenses. I'm sure they won't cause any trouble. However, it didn't take long for my cousin to start regretting her decision. She described living at her son's house as a constant endurance test, like the days stretched on endlessly with no relief. Since she moved in, her daughter-in-law had taken control of her pension card and kept it without consulting her. The house had 3 bedrooms, 1 for her son and daughter-in-law, and 2 for the grandchildren. My cousin, however, didn't have a room to herself and was forced to sleep on the couch in the living room. During the day, her bedding had to be hung outside on the balcony, like some afterthought. At night, once everyone had finished watching TV and retired to their rooms, my cousin would make her bed in the living room. She was always aware when her son or grandchildren went to the bathroom, as she was sleeping right next to the hallway. Her sleep was never peaceful or uninterrupted. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Her daughter-in-law was exceedingly frugal. Whenever they went to the store, they bought only half a kilogram of meat, and that had to last for several days. When they cooked the meat, it was always for the grandchildren, with the daughter-in-law justifying the decision by saying, "The children are growing, and they need to eat more. The adults can make do with vegetables." Even fruit, once washed, was taken straight into the bedroom, and my cousin was never allowed to touch any of it. She thought to herself, I see my daughter-in-law is so stingy. I've given them all my pension, and now I can't even eat properly. They must be stashing away the money they're saving on food. Despite her growing frustration, my cousin didn't dare to speak up about the situation. Then, one day, she accidentally overheard a conversation between her son and daughter-in-law that made her blood boil. She heard her daughter-in-law say, "Mom eats so much. Normally, we don't spend much on food, but ever since she moved in, we've had to buy more bread and food. She eats a lot, like 2 meals in one." Her son, who always feared his wife, didn't dare to defend his mother or say a word. My cousin, upon hearing this, felt an overwhelming surge of anger, but she kept it bottled up inside. That night, she lay awake, her mind racing, feeling an intense wave of loneliness and sadness wash over her. I raised my children with love and care, but now they've turned into ungrateful people, she thought bitterly. The next morning, unable to suppress her feelings any longer, she told her son, "I've been living at your place for half a year now. I think it's time for me to go live with my daughter for a while. A change of environment will do me good." So, she took her bank card and left for her daughter's house. At her daughter's house, my cousin found a much more pleasant atmosphere. She no longer had to give up her pension card. Her daughter even bought her delicious food and made her feel much more at ease. Her son-in-law seemed kind and respectful, treating her with genuine care. However, once again, my cousin overheard a conversation that left her heartbroken. One morning, before she had even woken up, she overheard a conversation between her daughter and granddaughter. Her granddaughter said, "Grandma already has a son. Why does she need to stay with us? We should be taking care of Grandpa, not Grandma." This statement struck a deep chord with my cousin, reminding her of the complexities and misunderstandings she had faced in her own family. Her daughter became angry during an argument and, in a moment of frustration, slapped her granddaughter. Feeling hurt and humiliated, the granddaughter ran away from home and refused to attend school for several days. This sudden disappearance caused the family immense worry and distress. Everyone in the family searched tirelessly, calling friends and relatives and scouring familiar places until, finally, they found her staying at a friend's house. This incident deeply shook my cousin. It was then she realized that even while staying at her daughter's home, she never truly felt at ease. She began to feel like a guest rather than a family member. In the end, despite her hopes of finding a sense of belonging with her children, she chose to return to her own home. The emotional toll of these events left her both physically and mentally drained. Reflecting on her experience, my cousin came to a profound realization. In the end, I have no choice but to come back to my own home. No matter where I go, the place I truly belong is the home I built myself. My children's homes may welcome me as a visitor, but they will never truly be mine. She found herself lost in thought, questioning deeply held beliefs. Why do we raise children, she wondered. When we grow old, can we rely on them for care and support? Parents give their all to their children, sacrificing time, energy, and even personal happiness, out of love and a sense of duty. Yet when parents face hardships, their children may not always be ready, willing, or even able to offer the same level of sacrifice. A parent's home is always open to their children, but a child's home rarely offers the same sense of permanence or security for their parents. Hearing my cousin's heartfelt story, I couldn't help but reflect. What about you? When you grow older, what kind of path do you envision for your later years? How will you balance independence and the hope for support from your children? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Dear viewers, when you find yourself in a situation where your daughter-in-law or son-in-law does not show you the respect you deserve, it's important to approach the situation thoughtfully. Don't rush to create conflict or exhaust yourself trying to win their favor. Instead, focus on doing these 4 things. Every family faces its unique challenges, and the bond between parents and their children is one of the strongest. Even after arguments or misunderstandings, this relationship is often easier to mend because of the natural love and connection that blood ties bring. However, relationships with a daughter-in-law or son-in-law are different. These bonds, not rooted in blood but built on social and emotional dynamics, are more fragile and can sometimes lead to significant tension. When conflicts arise with a daughter-in-law or son-in-law, they can disrupt family harmony and, in severe cases, even affect the stability of a marriage. Elderly parents, often concerned about their future care and well-being, may feel compelled to go out of their way to please their children's spouses to ease the tension. As the saying goes, the heart of a parent is the most selfless and pitiful. But, sadly, not all daughter-in-laws or son-in-laws recognize this. Some may even take advantage of the situation, becoming more demanding or displaying selfish, authoritarian behavior. In some cases, out of frustration or hurt, elderly parents might decide to confront their child's spouse directly, leading to escalated conflict and further strain on the family. This can result in fractured relationships and, in the worst cases, leave elderly parents feeling isolated. It is important to remember the wisdom of long-term thinking. As the old saying goes, one who fails to plan for the future will face struggles in the present. No matter your age, it's vital to approach challenges calmly and thoughtfully, avoiding impulsive actions or drastic decisions that could worsen the situation. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. When your son-in-law or daughter-in-law shows a lack of respect toward you, it can be hurtful, but it's important not to react impulsively or bend over backward trying to earn their approval. Instead, take a thoughtful and composed approach by following these 4 key steps. 1. Don't take it personally. Shift your perspective and treat them as outsiders. When your child marries, their spouse becomes a part of your extended family, and it's natural to hope for a close, harmonious relationship. Many parents-in-law treat their daughter-in-law or son-in-law as if they were their children, investing time, energy, and emotional support to strengthen the bond. However, if your kindness and efforts are met with disrespect, it's time to reevaluate your approach. Continuing to treat someone as an insider when they fail to reciprocate that respect can lead to unnecessary emotional distress. Instead, shift your perspective. Consider your son-in-law or daughter-in-law as someone external to your immediate inner circle. This doesn't mean you need to harbor resentment or cut ties. It simply means you establish healthy boundaries to protect yourself from being hurt further. Think of this adjustment as a protective mechanism, allowing you to care for your emotional well-being without becoming entangled in disrespectful behavior. 2. Avoid conflict. Choose silence over arguments. Disrespectful individuals often seek to provoke or challenge you, either through passive-aggressive comments, dismissive behavior, or outright confrontation. This is particularly true in scenarios where grandparents help care for grandchildren. In such cases, it's common to encounter dismissive or critical remarks, which can sting deeply, especially when you're simply trying to help out of love. Instead of reacting defensively, embrace the power of silence. The old saying, "Silence is golden," carries great wisdom. When you refuse to engage in arguments or heated discussions, you deny the disrespectful person the satisfaction of drawing you into their conflict. Over time, this approach can diffuse tension. No one can argue endlessly with a person who refuses to argue back. By staying calm and silent, you maintain your dignity and demonstrate a level of maturity that speaks louder than any words ever could. 3. Reflect on your role. Cultivate inner peace through self-awareness. It's easy to blame others entirely for strained relationships, but often, our expectations play a significant role in creating tension. Take a step back and reflect on your emotions. Are you hurt solely because of your son-in-law or daughter-in-law's actions, or is it because their behavior fails to meet your hopes and expectations? As parents, it's natural to wish for certain things from your children and their spouses: gratitude, respect, and alignment with your values. However, when those wishes go unmet, frustration and conflict can arise. The more strongly you hold on to these expectations, the more difficult it becomes to find peace. By reflecting on your feelings, you may discover that the discomfort you're experiencing is rooted in a desire for control or validation. True peace comes from letting go of these desires and focusing on what you can control: your reactions and mindset. 4. Let go of unrealistic expectations. Embrace emotional freedom. Disrespect from a son-in-law or daughter-in-law often feels like a personal failure. You might wonder if you could have done something differently or whether you could try harder to win their favor. However, trying to please someone who consistently disrespects you is a futile effort that drains your energy and erodes your sense of self-worth. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Instead of clinging to the hope that they will change or suddenly begin treating you with the respect you deserve, focus on letting go. Release your expectations of how they should behave. Life is too short to waste on conflict and negativity. By letting go of the idealized version of your relationship with them, you free yourself from the burden of constant disappointment. This doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're prioritizing your happiness and peace over the unrealistic hope that others will change. Finding balance and peace. In situations where your son-in-law or daughter-in-law disrespects you, it's important to remember that your self-worth is not determined by their opinions or actions. Reacting with anger or desperation only gives them power over your emotions. Instead, approach the situation with patience and wisdom. Treat them as outsiders to protect your heart. Stay silent to avoid unnecessary conflict. Reflect on your feelings to gain clarity, and let go of unrealistic expectations to find peace. By embracing these 4 principles, you shift your focus from external validation to internal strength. You'll find that stepping back and prioritizing your well-being leads to a more peaceful and fulfilling life, regardless of how others choose to behave. Let your inner calm and self-respect guide you, and you'll be better equipped to navigate even the most challenging relationships with grace and dignity. As we wrap up today's video, I want to ask you, what have you learned so far? Have any of the insights shared today resonated with you? I'd love to hear from you. Please comment below with one thing you've learned and plan to bring into your life moving forward. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us create more valuable content just like this. Until next time, take care, and remember, your experiences matter, and it's never too late to make a change for the better.